All right, so catching up to live time here, folks. They got in pretty quickly. We've got another round of 16 series here, and we have the good old Russian showdown. We've got Vinchester, top 10 player in my mind. Vinchester, the favorite here. Vinchester playing as the Romans. And then we have Dark. Dark is playing as the Vikings. Now, both these players have been around a while. Vinchester's got more experience, and Vinchester has played Dark 21 times. There's been 21 different sets they played. Now, this hasn't all been in like big S-tier tournaments where everyone else plays. This has sometimes been in like they've had like a Russian Cup, for example. They've had like different smaller events that incorporate different players from the various areas. So I think like this stage is kind of rare for them to have faced, but it has happened before. And Vinchester tends to win. And Dark is aware of that as well. And so I think Dark has some tricks up his sleeve. So I teamed with Dark. Those remember in a 2v2 tournament. He named our team Swag, which was initially a little embarrassing for me because, you know, I was like, come on, man, I'm 32 or almost 33. Swag is kind of out of my vocabulary. Couldn't blame him, though, because, I mean, he's 20 years old. And he does have a lot of swag. You know, he's got a lot of confidence. And so I messaged him after his amazing results to get here. I said, looks like swag is activated. And he said, yes, I've hidden all my best ideas. So yeah, he's hidden some stuff. He did not draft civilizations or he basically played his previous set with this series in mind to hide various things. So that's pretty exciting. So maybe Vinchester will be a little surprised by his strat. Dark notoriously does not play a lot of ranked, so if you look at his elo right now, he could easily be way higher. And Vinchester is the only player over 3k elo right now, so big difference in elo gap if you look at the bottom right. Romans, I'm a big fan of. Not a big fan of this for Vinch. This is not something you see at the high level that frequently. Villager gets a little bit stuck there. But yeah, Roman's really good with that 5% overall efficiency. Vinchester was very wally, and so was Dark in their previous set. I'm curious now on if they will continue to do that. But yeah, 2 militia for Vinch. This is what I expected from him. He likes his little drush builds. And I would expect that Dark will not do that here just because... Well, Dark is going to do that, actually. But, I mean, Vikings get Wheelbarrow for free in Feudal Age, so there's a reason to maybe rush Feudal. Well, someone says, how was Dark qualified? Wasn't there a threshold for elo? No, it's a hybrid. So like Dark's tournament performances are good enough. He fell into the threshold of tournament results mattering. I would look at the handbook to get the full breakdown, but yeah, this was not based fully on elo. Elo does matter for certain players, but Dark luckily has had a good enough year. I think it didn't necessarily matter. So Dark sees Vinchester there, and he chooses to pass by. So he saw that. I'm sure he expected this as well, so he will drop the Palisades here. He doesn't really know where to go right now, where to pressure. And Vinchester does know. Vinchester has just caught a glimpse of this, so he knows to loop around. So for Dark, unfortunately going the wrong way right now. But that's just because they're off towards the side here with this generation. They're both actually doing the same exact build, which is crazy. 3 to gold for Vinch, 3 to gold for Dark. The rest is on food, just a little bit on wood. So same builds. Dark should loop over to the left. What I don't know is if Vinchester spotted Dark. Because, I mean, Dark definitely caught a glimpse of him. If Vinchester doesn't know about this, especially when this scout's in Feudal, this could pose some problems. Berries could still be seen as exposed here. Woodline could still be seen as exposed. Vinchester does have 3 villagers on this side, and I imagine he's paying really close attention. And yeah, Vinchester sees this. And Dark runs right through. He runs into the TC a little bit as well, so that was not ideal. But he's got some work to do. Having to build the Palisades and get over to his berries now. And him adding his own militia. And Vinchester, again, choosing to go forward. So this will be 4 militia from Vinch, and he can group up together. So he can join these 2 with the other 2. For Dark, that's kind of a tough task here because of this wall. So thus far, I'm slightly preferring Vinch's potential for damage. But should remember, though, that Romans can't get arson, so they can't take buildings down quite as quickly as Vikings can, if Vinchester would have even wanted to do that. But again, Dark's 2 militia are over here as he go for man-at-arms. But Vinch didn't see that. It is the same exact build from both, so he might expect it. But yeah, he can't see it. Now he sees man-at-arms. This almost tells you guys that there's going to be more units. It's funny, had he gone to the left there, maybe he could have given Vinch some problems here. That palisade wall is going down pretty quickly. 2 villagers repairing. You'll take this. You'll take this as damage, because that's 2 idle villagers right now. So you'll be happy with that. Over on this side, Vinchester's also repairing. Vinchester does need to prep a palisade wall here, because this bush is going to be gone here soon. And Dark adds the archer, forces Vinchester away for a moment. And yeah, this is a real test of their skills, right? Like, they're mirroring their builds so far. And it's not often you see this. Normally, an underdog is not going to want to match the exact build order. They're going to want to go for something that counters the opponent's build. But they're both doing great jobs with their scouts. They're both working pretty hard here. Dark Scout's going to go down, though. That tells you Dark is micring on this side, and he had some issues. The palisade went down. Vinchester is through, and Vinchester kills an archer as well. Vinchester will kill a villager as well. And just like that, Vinchester gets a really nice engagement. I mean, Vinchester is still walling up, is still staying safe, and Dark is snowballed on him really quickly here. Vinchester will get villager kill number 3 now. And 5-0 KD for Vinchester. Just these tiny little differences here. Again, the eco is similar. It's just one mistake, and you get punished. And now that changes the approach for Vinch. He'll be very happy with that. And Dark will have to try and make something happen here. The man-at-arms might need to group up with some skirms. Of course, classic Twitch chat. Everyone's saying the game must be over. But truthfully, Twitch chat, it's a pretty big lead for Dark. It is. I mean, after seeing some crazy comebacks and considering the Viking economy, you have to still play on here. But, yeah, you definitely don't want to call it. Mr. Yo would be judging everyone who's calling the GG right now, because his performance yesterday was crazy. I still can't believe that game. I'm curious how Vinchester chooses to use his range units now. Because the second a tower's up, Dark is somewhat protected, and Dark could maybe counterattack. That's kind of what you want. You're behind an army, but you build the tower, and then you can leave your base. See, Dark isn't fully walled on this side, though. So if Vinchester goes that way, you can get value. I think Castle Age time should be similar here. I've been saying I'm a big fan of the Romans. I think their eco bonus is one of the best in the games. It's just so smooth and so easy. But... you know, Viking eco is fantastic as well with free wheel. Free wheel really pays off once the farm counts start to get above, like, 10, which is where we're at now. But, yeah, I mean, not the start you want as the underdog, where your opponent's getting damage and you're not. And also, Vinchester just lurking over here on the berries. Guys, this is just so good from Vinch. Just so good from Vinchester. And he should get another villager kill as well. 2 more villager kills for Vinch. The villagers can't really leave either. Dark is trying to kill them off with the vills. He's got the speed to micro it back, but my god, that's not great. Vinchester runs into the TC here, so I guess that's the end of the attack, but still, super worth it. Super worth it. And Dark hasn't done counter damage. That's the issue here. Dark didn't get any counter damage in because he wasn't protected enough. He had to stay at home to defend again. Vinchester's resources are rising. He's going to fall back now. Super smooth start for Vinch. I think the issue for Dark here... I mean, it all stemmed from just that one palisade wall going down. But the issue also was he didn't really have vision on where he could do damage. So he was a little late to the drush and the scouting compared to Vinch. And so, as this is a good fight for Dark here, Dark sniping the archers and pushing this back, it was just problematic he only found the berries. If he hit the left side, if he hit the wood line, I think he would have had more potential. But when you don't really know where anything is, you have to assume it's all protected, and you just try and get value where you can. Vinch will be fine here. Vinchester's on the way up. Dark will be on the way up to Castle Age as well. And Dark is going to have to send it with something, some type of aggression. But Vinchester hasn't had to build a tower. Vinchester might even sneak with these 2 archers, because he doesn't really need... Yeah, these 4 archers. He doesn't really need them at home right now. He can just use the skirms at home to defend. Vinchester scout is around too, just to take a little peek here. Just to see what's going on at Dark's base. So, type a 1 in chat if you watch the Vinchester Prisma series. Some of you probably did, right? I was shocked at how defensive he was. Like, he didn't really play through aggression. And I just think that series, Vinchester, he played that way as here he comes again. Because he just knew he could. I think he's that confident against Prisma. He didn't think Prisma could give him any problems. He didn't think he had to have strong openings. And apparently that's how Dark felt in his series against running as well. Maybe he hid some strategies at least. But like here, this is the Vinchester that can light it up. And that's 2 more villager kills. Like, he's showing respect to Dark. He knows he can't just greet it out and just play full wall. But, yeah, I mean, that was just another good moment for Vinchester. Great utilization of the scout. Dark just still unable to get any damage here. Someone asking about the age. I would guess Vinchester's late 20s, maybe 30 or something. I know Dark is like 20 years old, which surprises people because Dark's been around for a really long time, but he was a teenager for the majority of his AoE career. Okay, Vinch is 27. I mean, it's funny to think about it. Vinchester, I remember casting him 10 years ago, so I guess Vinchester was 17 at one point and still at a really high level. But this right here is like 6 years of experience against the same player. Former teammates, of course, these two. Like, these guys go way back. And Dark will be a long series. It's a best of 7, but he has not been able to find the counter damage I think he needs. He just hasn't had it. And Vinch is opening strong with military, which is a smart move. You know that Dark is going to have descended after that much damage. So, it's kind of interesting. He's going for longswords, but he's mixing in the scorpions as well. I think he needs to secure the left side of his base. But Dark really needs to try and find that gold. I just don't think he knows it's available. Like, he hasn't had any vision. He assumes that's walled. Not having any vision on the map is just really hurt him here. And now it's too late, maybe. And it feels like it's a little too late. He is going to try for longswords now because he sees skirms. That is Viking's best option against skirms. At least without a castle. But Vinch is already on longsword. And Vinch is Roman. So Vinchester gets the additional armor as well. It's just Vinchester's got it covered, man. He's just got it covered every single step of the way. Scorpions and skirms and longswords will be around. And Dark now has to leave his wood line. Vasana, thanks for the 5 months. Thank you, Radna, for the 57. Knock, welcome. He says, I never enroll into tournaments because I know I would just ruin everyone's experience due to me stomping them hard. Trust me, bro. All right. One's in chat if you believe that. Thank you for the resub. Very kind of you. Cryptic, thank you for the 9 months. Welcome back, man. Yeah, that's the same for me as well. I can't, it's why I don't sign up for these things. You might have been making fun of me because I made a similar joke earlier. Vinchester kills villager number 9. It's about to be villager number 10. And many more than that. And Dark's counterattack is here. Finally, his army's moving somewhat forward, but he's lost 11 villagers. Things are not looking good. Without handcart, more villagers would have died. At least the villagers can move faster. So, okay, 12th villager goes down. Maybe Dark can get a clear up here. If you clear up Vinchester's army, there's a chance maybe you then have an army to counter with and he has nothing. But that would assume that Vinchester would stop production And I don't think Vinchester will ever stop production here. He's got the Scorpions out. He still has some skirms. He still has some swordsmen out. And Dark will take some losses here. So it'll even out. It's a 50-50 fight, which we know favors the player who's killed this many bills. It's a little awkward. I'd actually just like to see some knights here. But I guess I'm more of a stable player myself. If you're on longswords is probably the better move. There's Dark's counterattack as he goes for the golds. And Vinchester's just waiting with another army. And I think we see the GG here. Dark might want to play on a little bit longer just to work out his nerves or something. But yeah, that was just domination from Vinchester. And that is what Vinchester has done. He's 19 set wins and only 2 losses against Dark in all the times that they've faced. They have faced each other a lot. So hopefully for Dark, hopefully he is able to turn it around a little bit, and hopefully he can push that out of his mind. But I think he knew the stakes coming into today. It's just, you probably need a different build. You probably need to be doing something different than Vinchester to beat him, if Vinchester is indeed the better player, and it was the same build there from both. So, guys, I don't know what the Roman win rate is. I know it's not perfect, but when I see a top 10 player play Romans, I feel like they're one of the best civs in this tournament. All right. So, game number 2, back to Arabia. How open will this generation be this time? Previous gen was pretty open. This one's pretty open as well, but I would say more wallable for Vinch. There have been some differences in the map generations. Ideally, that balances out over a best of 7, but Dark will have a slightly tougher time walling. Vinchester does have those wood lines close by. This is a fun matchup. You normally see this matchup on more hybrid, in more hybrid situations because of all the wood savings for the Japanese and the Malians. We see them on Arabia here. And Dark's going to go forward, and Dark's going to try and lame. We do actually have a pause right now. Yes. And we don't have a pause anymore. All right. So the previous gen, they had groups of 2 to 3 deer. And it was groups of 2 to 3 deer, which meant they could push in that food really quickly. Here, you have the deer spread out, 1 by 1. So it is doable, but it just slows you down a little bit if you want to push multiple. Dark is hoping to lame right now. He doesn't know where the town center is, but if he looks, he could probably see the deers getting pushed, which means the TC's in there, which means he can freely scout this area. And if he freely scouts here, if he goes right here right now, there's sheep and there's a boar, but he's just... I don't think he saw the deer. I don't know exactly what he's doing, actually. I really disagree with his scouting pattern. Because you saw the stone here. You know the TC's probably back here. Now you see a relic, so he knows to double back. But, like, come on, man. Don't tell me he's going to somehow go around that. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Like, how has he gone full circle around 2 sheep and the boar? That's the risk you take with laming. You can get unlucky or you can get lucky. Vinchester, I think he saw the scout there. And so here comes this villager to bring in that boar. But yeah, Dark goes home empty-handed just to push in his deer. Vinchester's already been able to push in 1. We'll push in the 2nd. Now, this is another matchup where I would expect some infantry. And we know both players love that based on game number 1. And Dark is going to push in deer number 1. Should have another one around. Does have his sheep around. He'll probably end up getting 2 still. But at the very least, it would have been nice if he could steal 2 sheep from Finch. This will be a no lame game. I think with the wood buildings being so cheap for the Malians, Vinchester's absolutely thinking about the barracks. You don't put 4 on wood if that's the plan. Or if that's not the plan. And so Vinchester, who kind of... He played his role in the 2 militia drush. I think Vinchester was the one who actually started this exact build, previous King of the Deserts. I was then pretty meta for a while at the high level on Arabia. Shifted out of the meta. People started going for what they call the frush after that for a year or so. But Vinch back to his roots. And other people have been doing it as well. So clearly, it's very strong. And yeah, Dark's going to try it too. It's just so good because you get a little bit of pressure to stop your opponent from walling up and taking their gold properly and taking their berries properly. And then you're still on the way to Feudal Age behind it very quickly. This should actually be perfect for Vinch. Malians are so good with this. All these buildings he's building early are discounted. And he's got the 2 deer. So, yeah, he'll take this boar. He'll come out and take the berries here soon, probably. And Vinchester's Scout will go into Dark's TC. Take some damage there. Now, he just clicked behind and it pathed that way. So, you might assume there's a barracks there. But Dark is getting loomed. So, I think Dark's just going to click up to Feudal Age here. What's up, Soften? Thanks for the Prime. GCG Divine, hello, welcome. Eagerleech says, never forget to sub with Prime. Thank you, dude. Thank you, Lego. He says, vacation, wish you and your family a Merry Christmas time. Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, vacation won't start for me for a while, man, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure I'm looking forward to the colds, but it does not feel like Christmas for me if it's not cold. So it's like that tough mix of, I just don't want it to be too cold. I would like some snow. Snow's good too. So Dark saw the militia. Now he's walling up the wood line, walling up the gold. And Vinchester will be delayed in clicking up. Keep an eye on the resources collected here. This will always be higher for Vinch because he has 3 more working bills. So that's the benefit of delaying your uptimes. Which is why any of you players out there, if you're like 1,000 elo and 1,100 elo and you're trying to copy a 2,700 elos player or 3,000 elo player's build, you might benefit from adding a villager or 2 because, let's be real, you're not quite as clean as them. And when you have when you're trying to go for the same populations and you don't have the same efficiency, your eco suffers. So that, at the highest level, this is the benefit of the build, is you just have a couple more vills. I think even just adding 1 vill to every single build order would be a really good suggestion for the majority of players listening right now. Just give it a shot. Build a Dark Age farm with an extra vill. See how smooth your eco is. This also might not help at all, so, you know, if it helps, give me credit. If it doesn't help, then, you know, forget I said it. Oh, man, what is this? Vinchester traps the scout from Dark, but isn't that a villager kill? Can Dark kill this villager right now? If he doesn't kill the villager, it's a masterclass from Vinch, and oh my goodness. Vinchester with the quick walls, villager on 1 HP, and it's got to be so frustrating for Dark. I mean, that scout can be so valuable. And villager will just hang out on the straggler tree. Dark's getting arson right away. 4 man-at-arms here with the Japanese. Vinchester's going to try it again with the 1 HP Vill. Talk about a flex. She survives from the scout, and now she's going to build a house, and she's going to wall in the other army here. She's an absolute god. Don't mess with her. Now, we're going to completely ignore the fact that this is still really good for Dark, and this isn't actually that big of a problem as far as I'm concerned. Over here, Dark did lose a villager, though, to Vinchester. But actually, this is fine for Dark because he has arson. Villagers are idle. The mill is going down, and there's an archer on the way right now. And with that archer on the way, that's going to pressure. There's not enough meat to the bones here for Vinchester's scout to be able to kill that archer. It's actually really close. That might be... He might be able to kill that archer. And maybe Vinchester does end up killing all this. Let's see. I mean, Vinchester's forward army's dead. Dark was scared about this scout sniping. Vinchester's basically patrolling to catch any archers, and now he'll find it. If Vinchester's scout kills this archer, this is incredible value. Yeah, and I think he will, actually. Yeah, you always need to have a spearman when you advance forward here, guys, or you need to have 2 archers. Dark just wants that damage in fast to save the man-at-arms. Vinchester gets as much damage as possible, and now just runs away with the scout. Oh, but the man-at-arms made it out, and the man-at-arms killed a Vill. The 1 HP villager is still safe, but the mill went down. Villager went down. So mill and Vill kill. And behind this, Dark doesn't have any pressure to deal with. And Dark will have his range units following up. So pretty close game in the end. I think both players have benefited. Vinchester's playing great. Dark had a strong opening there too. Dark's eco balance is worrying to me. You never want 9 on berries. That's an adaptation because things got messy. Vinchester's eco seems just slightly more balanced right now. But what I'd like to see from Dark, I mean, you are not fully walled, but the important area of your base right now, the wood, the berries, the front of your base is walled. So what I'd like to see from him is I'd like to see him just move forward right now. It's hard, though. If your opponent's fully walled by the time you get there, it doesn't feel great. But I'd like to see him push the berries again. Just give Vinchester a bit of a test. Vinchester just waiting at home. He will have fletching here. And Dark's transitions to farms just because of, again, lack of wood. And then that just means and too many on berries. Doesn't have too many right now. He's got 3 farms. Vinchester already on 7. Vinchester doesn't know that army is there. Just places this market at the perfect time. Dark won't be able to get through. And that is kind of worrying. So the way I think Vinchester will want to play this, the area I think Malians have an opportunity here is early Castle Age. Because they have the gold mining bonus. So you want, and you have the faster researching universities. So from my perspective, I would always play into market with the extra gold, buy food to go castle, and then play fast ballistics to try and end the game. It's actually a really even matchup long term. But in early Castle Age, Japanese don't have many bonuses. And Vinchester also got a horse collar, which is surprising. You really don't normally get that on these builds. Not a big deal from my perspective that Dark doesn't have horse collar, but I think it is a big deal as farms were delayed. The farms being delayed is just not good. And Vinchester, while he did lose his mail, I guess, was always focusing on that. And yeah, Vinchester just patrolling on the hill. This is the one area Vinchester's not walled yet. He sold the stone already. He's still thinking about Castle Age. And he's like, all right, Dark, come at me, bro. Come at me. What are you going to send? What type of pressure do you have here? Here's Dark. Out of the darkness. Vinchester was not fully walled on the front, and Vinchester will get punished for his greed. Could have always had a house there. But Vinchester loses 2 villagers, and Dark gets a fight on a hill now, too. Nice micro here from Dark. We know he obviously needs this micro to pan out for him. Because Vinchester's just waiting for Castle Age. And oh, man, Dark. If this game would have just been full wall, Dark would have struggled here. But Dark has made it through the walls. Vinchester too late to getting the walling. And Dark's micro is insane right now. He's got some weak units in here. But that's really good value. The key here really is just Vinchester won't have a big army to make it to use in Castle Age, right? Man, Dark is really dancing right now. Which, by the way, as he kills another villager there, that was sick. Dark is a professional dancer. Fun fact. Part-time AoE pro. Full-time professional dancer. He, like, goes to events and stuff. And good. It's pretty cool. I thought about making a video about that where I, like, interview Dark and do, like, a documentary style, but that's a lot of work. So I might do that at some point, but ballroom or tap? I think it's ballroom. I'm not really up to date on dancing stuff. T90 do a video of him dancing? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's public videos of this stuff because it's professional competition, so. But I'm a little focused on the game right this current moment. I thought you were joking. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. So maybe someone could find some clips and I could play it at some point. University for Vinch. But he only has 7 crossbows. So it's not the numbers he would have had. And he's behind in villagers. Still, though, I mean, this is going to be a woodline that Dark just can't take now. And Dark's map is horrible for woodlines. He's going to wall this way. And he's like, please have there be a woodline over here. And there is a woodline there to run to. He has to be incredibly careful, though, because once Ballistics is in, Vinchester can get crazy value. And, man, Vinch's Castle Age time is ridiculous here. The full 2 minutes faster. Vinch can do a lot with this. He can take down farms from the front. He could siege push. He could also just drop the second town center to recoup the losses. Dark a little late to reacting there. That's a villager down. He is microing the man-at-arm right now, but he probably needs to Just save the wood line. That's a lot of time for Dark to just be walking to the wood lines, which is far from ideal. He's behind in archers, which is also less than ideal. And Vinchester, who didn't get ballistics yet, is going to build the second TC on the front. So he will be faster there. And ballistics is still very possible for him. Well, T90, is there a big APM gap between these two? I would guess that maybe Vinchester's a little bit faster, but it could be the other way around as well. Yeah, it looks like Dark's a little bit faster. To me, it falls into the category. They're essentially the same speed. It's just what Capture Age picks up on. Maybe they have some interesting tendencies. Vinchester dives in. The archers from Dark are in the TC. I don't think Vinchester expected that. I think Vinchester was expecting that Dark had his army forward, and that was just villagers inside the TC. And now Vinch has maybe gone too far. Now, this is where a Vinchester could snag ballistics really quick, and he can just keep this army alive. That could win in the game. So Dark's going to be concerned that if ballistics is in, he'll have to micro against that. Now, Vinch is essentially being patient. He knows how fast the university upgrades come in for him. Still think Dark could just chase this down. It's not a big enough army for Dark. Dark will lose. Sorry, for Vinchester. Dark will quick gate here. Ballistics is in, but you just run towards the army now if you're Dark, and you're fine. It hasn't been so easy here. Vinchester can get another Vil snipe. I think it's because there's crossbows all along, so Dark has a lot to look at right now. The front of the base, Dark is losing a crossbow. Vinchester still microing these crossbows back here. Still having fun. Gets the Cav Archer. Still here, by the way. And Vinchester's on 2 town centers behind. So Vinchester, as he's still nerding out, dude. He's still nerding out. Can he get the crossbow? Okay, finally. Yeah, Vinchester's got to be really happy with that. Listen, when you're the favorite and you've got this much control over the map, this is exactly where you want to be. And he can have no complaints about it. But ballistics will be in for Dark. Dark is also Japanese. They have some pretty tanky CA. Dark could maybe drop the second town center as well. Vinchester, I'm liking the farm count. I'm liking the fact he got horse collar on those farms. And I'm liking the recognition that he maybe needs to go skirms instead of crossbows right now. It's a very even game. Res collected's close. I want to see if Dark can start to take some decent fights here. We're going to see them really maximize their military speed now. Vinch still needs to rely on the tankiness of the skirms here. I think skirms will be important. Also think bloodlines will be really important for Cav Archers. Without bloodlines, it's an awkward unit to be using here. Look at the micro from both right now. This micro from Vinch is crazy, man. Look at this. Vinchester does not think he can lose to this guy. Yeah, Vinch is like, what are you gonna do? Ballistics? That's cute. I'll micro your ballistics. Oh man, he also denies the siege workshop as well. Damn, he's just so good. And now Vinch will go 3 town centers. So Dark still on 1. Dark still really hoping to eventually have the army to kill this, but it's going to take some time. Again, another thing that just makes you feel like you're such a big lead right now if you're Vinchester. Dark needs a counterattack. So finally he's going to go out to do that. Critically, though, he is going to build a stone gate, and that means he has to delay his second town center. So it's going to be 3 versus 1, but when you're on 1 for this long, you might want to stay on 1 and go full army to push it back. I'd like to see some outposts from Vinchester, maybe for some awareness. It's gotten a little quiet here. He doesn't see anything. He knows it can't be siege. So Vinchester just waiting around, but look at how many farms are around all of his town centers right now, and Dark didn't know there's anything here. And Vinchester will get a heads up that he needs some army out, and we'll add a few skirms from home. He'll actually send the skirmishers that are on the front home too. Vinch is playing super sharp right now. It does feel like a night and day difference in style, though, compared to how he played against Prisma. That could be a combination of the pings when he was playing someone from Argentina, but also just how much maybe Vinchester wanted to... maybe Vinchester just straight up wasn't as sharp on that day, too. That's a factor that has to be considered. And maybe none of it was intentional. But right now, this is the Vinchester that I think can have a really deep run in this tournament. He's one of the favorites in this tournament. Dark had not lost a game coming in here. He 3-0'd Turs, he 3-0'd running. And, well, he loses his Cav Archer counterattack, but now he's got more this way. Vinchester banking up the stone. His plan is obviously to place a castle, but the siege is actually going to be here now. So he has to be incredibly careful. That is not necessarily the time. I think Vinchester just deleted a villager there instead of a farm. I mean, Dark is here with siege right now. So Vinchester a little late. He'll need to dance his way out of this. Also, incredibly greedy, in my opinion, not to build the siege workshop. But he is confident. He feels like he's got control over this game. This is Dark's way back. Dark cannot let this castle go up. This castle can never go up. Vinchester, it's all hands on deck. 2 villagers go down. Vinchester's going to micro the siege down. That's his hope anyways. Castle's at 50%. He still hasn't taken down the siege. He will do so, but at what cost? He's lost a lot of his army. Castle's at 70% now. He lost all of his army. But I think the castle can actually complete. So maybe it was worth it. He didn't actually take the mangonel. But Vinch is he doesn't have army now. He does have the villager lead, but villagers can be killed by Cav Archers. Dark's got the score lead. Dark's got some momentum here. Cav Archers are really strong with the Japanese, too. If Dark could just get a big mass of them, he has plenty of time to sort out any eco problems he has. I'd still like to see the town centers. It weirdly feels like Dark is going to stay 1 TC forever and go Imp with these Cav Archers. It's really uncommon to go 1 town center fast Imp with Cav Archers. But with these resources, he's close enough to that being a possibility that maybe he needs to try it. I'd like to see a Vil. Okay, the Vil's here. Just repair that weak mangonel so you can actually advance forward with it. And Vinchester, he knows the Cav Archers and the siege is here. He finally has the second armor for his skirms. That was a big thing he was missing there. 25 villager lead. Dark is definitely going to try the fast Imp. Dark will take down the mangonel. There's no doubt in my mind about that. He needs to keep his own mangonel alive, and he will. So still not an easy engagement for Vinchester to take, and Vinchester's thinking guard tower, so he really considers this to be a problem now. And Dark is imping. Damn. I mean, Bracer Cav Archers against Castle Age units? He will still have some work to find the damage. That's a crazy split from Vinchester. He doesn't lose a single skirm. This could give him some chances. The big thing, too, would be if he can get Vils on stone to get a castle. But when you have 62 Vils, getting to a castle in Trebs also seems tough. A castle in the middle would be huge. Feels like Vinchester's eco is rising up for Imp as well. Vinchester's holding. I'm not sure the guard tower was necessary, but it's a safe precaution. And when you have the lead, that's exactly what you should be thinking. I don't really think they needs the guard towers anymore. And castles are key, so no need to panic, I guess, in Vinch's mind and force the issue. Still, though, Imp is going to be a kind of a shock moment. I do think this is the best attempt from Dark to come back in the game, though. You need Trebs, you need Bracer. It all has to be before Vinchester has equal upgrades. And he will have 2 minutes with Bracer. But you're not affording heavy Cav Archer with this. You're not getting long-term tech switches as a possibility. You were just stuck on Cav Archers, and you're hoping for Trebs. This is where I expected Vinch to have another guard tower, but he didn't know the army was here until now. His skirms will have to chase this down. Do you think Vinchester knows he has a 40 Vil lead? Because I don't. I think the score does not tell me 40 Vil lead. The score tells me like 20 Vil lead. But that score can play tricks on you sometimes. Oh god, Dark, not where you want to be right now. Oh, that micro was ridiculous. What the? What? He should have lost 3 Cav Archers. 4 Cav Archers, maybe. He only lost 1. What in the world was that? Did you see that? The little stutter step? And now the Cav Archers are off into the darkness. Bracer and Chemistry's on the way. Vinchester's going to consider a champion switch, which with Malians can be great. Your infantry does have extra pierce armor, but you still need to get all the way to champion, and Cav Archers could still kill champions pretty quickly. Here come the Vils for Dark, so he will drop the castle on the hill. It unfortunately wasn't up at the time he wanted. So maybe Vinch can push this down. Vinchester will see that as well. But now the Cav Archers can kill some Skirms. Skirms can still get good value here. Dark needs to do some runners in front here. I would expect that. Yep, little stutter micro. It's an army that Vinchester can replenish. It's an army that Dark cannot replenish easily. Castle's on the way up. Vinchester sees it, though, and Vinchester can make a treb right away when he's in him. So the timing could have been better for Dark, but, like, it could have been better if he had more resources, which he's never going to have because because of the state of the build. So it's not like he made a mistake. It's just really difficult now to make the most of this. I think that Vinchester should just stay on Skirm instead of going champion, but maybe he has the eco to actually try both. Armor is coming in for his Skirms. Chemistry is coming in for those Skirms too. Cav Archer's finding some damage here on the eco. Mangonel takes a pretty good engagement though. Dark's got some work to do. He's got another army over here, so that's where he was looking. Vinchester's dropping a guard tower. And Dark sees enough skirmishers to have to move away. And now the Treb War starts. But with Chemistry in that quick, Vinchester can make bombard cannons right away. So the University from the Malians helping him again. And with bombard cannons, Vinchester could probably march up this hill. Probably take down these Trebs. This is looking rough for Dark. He does have Thumb Ring. He does have Bracer. He does have Chemistry. But there's still so many skirmishers out there. And even the Castle Fire, like Dark has to somehow micro his way. Look, he's trying to micro from the Castle Fire to get back to his castle, which he did an amazing job of. But he still took losses. And every loss is so costly here. Still taking a couple losses over here. And now his Trebs are exposed. And he has to use the Cav Archers now, or at least consider it. But if he hops out, then the Castle Fire can kill him. And now his Trebs are firing on the bombard cannons and not onto the castle. So well played from Vinch. Bombard cannons go right back for the Treb. Dark's Cav Archers dying pretty quickly here, guys. And I think Vinchester has held on. He's been patient enough. The patience still continues. And Vinchester's economy in Castle Age was kind of the key. Man, Trebs are hitting some big shots, though. The thing is, though, if you're trebbing the bombard cannons, you're not trebbing the castle. And Vinch also has a treb. So you're maintaining... Oh, my goodness. He hits another one. You're maintaining this position. And you need to be pushing the position. He's healing up his Cav Archers inside. Here go the Trebs again. Vinchester's had good micro, but the Trebs are inaccurate, so they sometimes will hit because it's kind of random. Can be really frustrating when you're in Vinchester's position that you do everything you can and the Trebs keep hitting the shots. That's the third bombard cannon down. Vinchester's still microing, though, and Vinchester's castle still up. Dark hops out with heavy CA now, which is expensive. Takes another bombard cannon. He's still behind by 50 Vils. He cannot lose this hill. He has to push this castle from Vinch. Vinchester's getting champion now. Damn, that's crazy. He actually hadn't made a single unit either. He's just getting the techs, both in the blacksmith and the barracks first, which is kind of the way to do it. Because you don't want to spend resources on units before they're at least imp units. Crazy micro from Dark again. Dark takes down the castle. Dark will take down the bombard cannons again, too. Dark's maybe got a chance here. I mean, if his Trebs are hitting the bombard cannons and the opponent's Trebs, he's got a chance. Cav Archer's really good against champion as well. I think even Castle Fire is helpful here. Let's see. Dark's Trebs need to hit every shot now. Vinch microing. Vinch takes one Treb. Can he take another? He takes another. Not good for Dark. Dark's Cav Archers need to get back over here. He loses another. He killed a bombard cannon. Vinch's Treb is still firing. Cav Archers go in for another bombard cannon. We'll get the bombard cannons again. But it's only 13 Cav Archers. Is it enough? I don't know. He will mix in some Samurai, too. I mean, obviously, Samurai could be a nice addition against Skirms. It's also a nice addition against Champs. But there's going to be a big difference in upgrades here. Very big difference in upgrades. Feels like Vinch is going to try to raid with the champions. Like he's going to just bust through the wall with the champ or the houses or something with the champs. And use the skirms to defend. Because as of now, all Dark does is he runs in, he snipes a bomber cannon, and he backs away to the castle. Which is the only way he could maintain this position. It's really well played again. But Dark doesn't have an army prepared for home right now. I mean, 80 pop lead for Dark. Or sorry, not for Dark, for Vinchester. It's amazing that Dark has made this a game. So just imagine, right? Like, imagine if Dark can stay even with Vinch into early castle. Then I think he's got chances to win, for sure. But because this has been all in, and he's had chances, but... My God, I mean, Eco wins games, right? And again, bombard cannons are not exactly cheap. And another one goes down, and Dark will save both of his Trebs again. Uh-oh, but the champs are here. Another bombard cannon will go down. Dark with the snipe again. Are there any bombard cannons watching? Because you should probably close your eyes. This is... Oh, God, there's another one about to die. I'm so sorry. I mean, another one's going to go down. Oh, man, there's been like 20 bombard cannons killed this game. What in the world? But doesn't matter. I don't think Vinchester even needs them now. He's got the champion flood. 30 champions with the skirms. He will storm the castle. He's sick of this castle. Maybe even thinking what Nikov said yesterday. F this castle. Again, score's crazy. I think because of the value of Dark's kills. But this is not good. That castle was his only way to win, I think. This castle's further back. It doesn't really save the game for you. It might not even go up. Now, it will go up. But you're still losing villagers. You can't afford to lose. More siege can come forward from Vinchester. Will it go up? What? It's denied. There was like 30 villagers building that castle. It's denied at 99%. So, yeah, castle doesn't go up. And if it were to complete, it would just be Treb down. Vinch's patience and his economy is going to win in this game. Beautiful job of defending and expanding. And Dark now needs to fall back again. But yeah, I can tell for Dark, maybe a little bit stunned, maybe trying to work out the mentals right now because he's 80 pop. It is kind of surprising that he's still playing. But again, the score might be a big reason why, and he is getting some big damage. If you're getting damage like this, you don't want to quit. When you're receiving damage like this, though, you do also want to quit, so... Vinchester's like, I don't care. It's fine, I could lose Vills. Yeah, he'll take the monastery down, where there's the relics. He'll take Dark off the golds here. He'll take Dark's town center down. And he can get right back over to this golden stone, no problem. Dark saw Yo play yesterday and thought, I can win. If Yo could come back from that, I can win here. But yeah, GG, Vinchester takes game number 2. This to me was just, it's all early game stuff. It's all early game. Like, I've yet to see a game where they're even in Castle Age. The way Vinchester transitions his economy to set up for Castle Age has just been better. In the first game, Vinch got a bunch of kills, so it wasn't even close. But like here, they both got similar amounts of Vil damage in and early damage in Feudal, but Vinchester's economy was just so well managed. And then, on top of that, Vinchester's Civ, he used the gold mining bonus with the Malians, and he used the market, and he bought his way to Castle Age. And so by the time Dark pushed out, I still think Dark played really well. By the time he pushed back, Vinchester had such a big lead, he had to play 1 TC. Now, I think 1 TC was the only way he had a chance at winning. So I think it's a good move. But that's that's a situation he'd like to avoid. He had to do that. He has to tie Vinchester to Castle Age. Just that's a ridiculous difference there, considering how I think Vinch lost more vills in Dark Age, or sorry, Feudal Age, right? So Dark showing his quality, but Vinchester has the lead thus far, 2-0 for Vinch. Vinch is just going off right now. Right. So once again, guys, apologies for the speed. We had a bug with the game that we had to fix and restart. And Dark gets a lame in. So first thing, I mean, Dark's down 2 games. He needs an advantage. He goes forward hoping for a lame like he tried in the previous game. He already found and brought that boar back 4 minutes in. So great start for Dark. He will have 3 boars on his side. And Vinchester, I have to try and recover there. Obviously, we were speeding up a little bit. To me, it seemed like Vinchester knew the boar was there. But he didn't bring in that boar super early here. Which is something that I know Vinchester doesn't like to do. Vinchester doesn't like to do it because you get less food overall from the boar if you have less vills on it. But obviously, if you lose the boar, you get way less as well. So and normally, I think in a laming scenario, players should be considering bringing in their forward boars first. So Dark now has way more food to work with. And Dark, maybe expecting that still Vinchester will consider the 2 militia, will try and add the 2 militia as well. Now, you could argue, well, this isn't a good idea. T90, this isn't a good idea. This is the voice of someone who would argue this. This isn't a good idea. Why? When the first 2 games have been the same build for both, would you try and match the build order? Well, the answer here is because you have so much more food, right? You have so much more food than him. So either in A, you match him and it's like, okay, cool. He might not have the food to go feudal like I do. Or B, he can't do it. So you can actually perform a build which applies some pressure and applies pressure to the guy who's trying to recover that food. So there is some logic to it. But the scout is weak for Dark compared to what it would be. It's important to keep that in mind. He does know generally where Vinch is. Also looks like he stole some sheep here. He's got a lot of sheep. Vinchester, we'll see the militia now. Luckily for Mayans, your resources last a little bit longer. But I would kind of struggle to get to Feudal Age here. I think Vinchester's going to need to plan on a couple farms in Dark Age. There's no way that the build of going 2 militia into 21 Vil Feudal is doable now for Vinch. And it should be doable for Dark. And Dark's actually adding the 3rd militia. You know what? I don't hate that. Because you could clearly win the fight. Or you could kill more Vils. You just can't let Vinchester get through here. If Vinchester were to get through here, that would be really bad. Yeah, he gets the walls in time. Dark's also fully walled on this side. This is a really nice wall off for him. Really nice use of his map. The only thing you can't do right now for Dark is you cannot get Loom because you made the 3rd militia. So you have to wait for 10 gold before researching Loom. And it's tough because you also want to go feudal. So I personally would go feudal without Loom right now and take the risk and then just queue Loom for when you're in Feudal Age. Yeah, there's the adaptation from Vinch. He adds 2 farms. Good idea. He wants the gold, though. Dark saw that, and Dark blocks that possibility. There's feudal for Dark. No Loom. But again, he'll get enough gold for that. Mayans start the game with an extra Vil. The Megalis get 2 extra Vils when they make it to each age. So the Megalis should have the villager lead here in a second. I mean, Vinchester's base is wide open. Things are going off plan. He's going to lose a house here. He can't repair this. And Vinchester goes to the back gold. This is the first real time Vinchester's been at a disadvantage in this game. Like, this is a clear disadvantage. Easier for Dark to manage everything here. So, oh, Eagle goes through. Interesting. Remember, there's no Loom. Loom still isn't in queue either for Dark. So any villager could go down, even to the Eagle. And Vinchester's sneaking 2 Vils this way. He's also adding a 3rd militia this way. So a lot of different things happening for Vinchester right now. He feels like he has to make it crazy. But guys, if Dark just goes for Man-at-Arms now, Vinchester will have no defense. If Vinchester goes forward range, no defense. And look at how awful this wood line is to wall right now. Do not attack that. You're going to get walled in again, bro. Thank you. You could tell Vinchester was thinking about it. Villagers are still alive for Dark. Loom is on the way. Man-at-Arms is on the way. Archer range is on the way. It's a bit weird to me that Vinchester's got the Man-at-Arms on the left. And then you got the villagers going to the right. Vinchester has to wall so much right now. Dark really wants that Vil kill. He should get this one. He needs 2 more hits. He gets the hits there. Wow, really well played. Dark with the villager lead. Guaranteed now. Even if he were to have made some mistakes, and Vinchester's still chilling over here. So, no defensive army for Vinch. That might be for a tower, actually. Feels like that's for a tower more than anything, because he sees the wood line. And he does have the archer range at home. So, I prefer that. This is a big difference in positions. I think Dark has gained this position in many ways, right? Like, Dark has earned this because he got the lame, he got the drush, he got the man-at-arms. But you look at the difference of the maps. Very easy for Dark to manage compared to Vinchester. It's a combination of everything, of course. But the AoE gods have gifted Dark here, and he's run with it. He's played well. He has to win this game. You're not going to get better opportunities to have a lead over a civ like Mayans with Vinchester controlling them. Like, it's by no means over. Everything's really even, but it definitely has to win this game. All right, so what I tend to see these days, if someone builds a tower like this, if it's only 2 Vils, you can just... You'll see the defender counter tower with 5. And if that happens, I think Dark can actually just wall in the Vils too, right? Like, Vinchester could get those Vils and the tower just shot right down. Lots of micro happening. You do need wood all the time right now, so losing your wood line... Getting disrupted on the wood line definitely ruins the flow of the game. Dark has not lost a unit yet. And tower goes up. Okay, but again, it's just 2 Vils. So I think realistically you could think about this. You don't want to move forward. If you have to move forward right now, then Vinchester could attack you all the times. I think you just build your own tower and shoot that down. Vinch needs to get out. Vinch is happy with that for now. Vinch is going to leave. Yeah, Dark didn't think that maybe it's possible to trap them in. Dark is going to take the forward wood line. That tower might change the game then. Because now, Dark has gone from being really safe to actually taking resources on the front. And Vinchester's already checking the wood line. Think about it from Vinch's perspective, right? He doesn't see many of the Vils there right now. So here he comes. Dark loses his scout there, but does he realize that he's lost his scout there because he's microing here? He's taking a good fight. He does have skirms here with armor. Oh, that's really well managed from Dark. Nice house walls there. Skirms have armor already. Still marching forward. Still, I mean, you might want to tower your gold later, so counter-towering the back of your base to shoot that down might not have been the best suggestion for me. So, there's definite arguments to avoid the tower in the back of your base the more I think about it. You might even just want to tower the front now if you're worried. But this is Dark, man. This is what this guy's capable of. Vinchester will drop a market. Think about Castle Age here. But there's quite a few skirmishers out, so Vinchester might want to consider some Eagles long-term here. The Man-at-Arms can still get great value from Dark. Some of the archers for Dark are weak. He's going to get close. And now the skirms have to run up the hill into the Man-at-Arms. They have to run into the Man-at-Arms to get to those archers. Another villager dead. Most of the skirms will be weak. Actually, was not bad for Vinchester, all things considered. These villagers are just hanging out up here, by the way. Let's not forget about them. They should be mining stone, but they're just idle right now because they're microing. I personally really like that fight for Dark. In some ways, like, I like the idea. Obviously, the micro is better for Vinchester, but you gotta try. And I know weak skirms doesn't sound like the most exciting thing, but this is going to be a ranged unit war. So Vinchester having some weak skirms that you could now potentially move in on and pick off is okay. But amazing from Vinch that Vinchester has done as well as he has. I mean, this is just against the lame. Again, my point yesterday, I was talking to Dave. Dave is like, I have found that the person who gets lamed very frequently wins the game. So I don't think laming is good. I mean, the person who gets lamed is usually the favorite. which is part of it. Like, favorites are not taking that risk, and then the favorites could probably balance out from the lame if they are the more talented player. But here, that is a clear example. I mean, there's no way Vinchester should be able to still be in this game. Losing 3 villagers, his map is wide open. The fact he's made this a game is ridiculous. Not sure how my Dave impression was there. I don't know what the army choice for Dark is going to be right now. It kind of feels like his army choice is going to be Elephant Archers. Because he stopped producing skirms. He has lots of food and lots of gold. It's not troll, by the way. I've seen it work before. Not necessarily in a tournament. But it could actually be quite good if you commit to them. Especially because people get surprised by them. Like, Vinch is expecting a skirm war. So Vinch is going to switch Eagles. You don't have Knights if you're Bengalis. You don't have the stone for a castle. You don't want to go long swords either. So yeah, this is definitely Elephant Archers from Dark. But I really hate the fact his base is open here. You're almost completely walled, so you got to complete these walls first. Yeah, Elephant Archers is the choice. 3 ranges, too. These units are not cheap, guys. Where are they here? It doesn't actually say the individual cost of the units, which kind of hurts because I definitely don't have this one memorized. Oh, it's going to be 4 archer ranges. Damn. Well, let's just say it's not going to be possible to keep 4 ranges queued consistently unless you use the market. Now, Vinchester seeing this, I think should just go monks initially and some skirms. Monks and skirm feels like your best comp. You can also use your mobility to try and just outrun them. Also, Vinchester's 2 villagers are still there. Dark is fine for now. It might feel like he's kind of awkward, and it is, but he just needs to mass the Ellies first. And once you get enough of them, then you're okay. Then you can just win every fight. They're slow. You need husbandry, so there's the stable just to get husbandry. I don't really think Bloodlines is needed because they're already so tanky. Vinchester's Eagle army has not been able to break through. Dark has been walling nicely here. But you need a lot of upgrades. Ballistics, husbandry. You still need to get full walls. Eagles could still run in for villager kills. Looks like he's thinking about it here, but the elephants are still around. Vinchester still 1 TC. Might want to consider a second TC on that gold, but he does have a siege workshop now. Look how many hits it takes to kill these elephants, man. They're so good. It's a good call from Dark. He's also adding a battle elephant. I'm not sure about that. I don't like that. Because at least against monks with Elephant Archer, you could snipe down the monks from range. Propaganda, welcome. First time on the stream. I love the name, dude. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming in from YouTube. Quick walls from Dark. I don't like having this base being open against Eagles, because the Eagles are so fast. Vinchester will get some Vil snipes. But that is a lot of Ellies. If Dark just runs right to Vinch's base right now, I do not think Vinch can defend from this. But if he does that, then we might see Vinchester just use the Mangonel on the wood line. I don't think the Mangonel will be all that effective against the elephants, but I could be wrong. See how the micro goes. The Eagles have full Castle Age armor. This is as tanky as they're going to get. The elephants are hitting and running here. And it's working, guys. We haven't seen an elephant go down yet. We've seen eagles go down. But now what else could work? Oh, Vinch wanted the wood line, but the battle elephant surprise. The battle elephant surprise kills the siege. Dude, eagles are not good enough against this. Also, what is that? What is that eagle doing right now? What? he's balking away. What was that, dude? That was crazy. The Dark needs to maybe settle down a little bit, drop some town centers, and boom. But at the same time, he's got a really big lead over Vinchester right now. His units cannot be stopped. He wants to win the game right now, I'm sure. And this is an all-in play from Vinch, essentially. He's got 3 barracks. He's got the monastery. He has the siege workshop. He's sending everything he can. Would love to see Devotion as an option for Dark. Obviously, Ballistics is a huge upgrade too, and he's about to get that. But yeah, with Devotion, the monks are not going to be as effective. Monk there. Dies. The next monk also will die. No, it won't. Yes, it will. No conversion. And the elephants have the hill. This might be game over. The Eagles don't do enough damage. The Eagles are getting all the hits that they want. They have a surround. I don't think they do enough damage. I think Elephant Archer is just a masterclass here. Look at this. These things can't be killed. And if they can't be converted, which is going to be difficult when your monks keep dying, you can't kill them. Dark going full Elephant Archer in Castle Age, which is not common at all. And Vinchester's push off the main gold. I think Dark might run underneath the TC as well. I mean, there's blood in the water right now, Dark. You just got to go for it. There's other things you can do to play safe. You can heal up your Ellies. You can fall back. You can boom. But, like, if he went through there, it's GG. Still, maybe GG. But he doesn't want to throw right now. He doesn't want everyone in my chat judging his every move. He wants everyone in chat applauding his move. It's funny, I talk to players after they win or lose, and sometimes players are like, man, reading a Twitch chat is really hard after I lose a game. I mean, imagine being one of the best in the world at what you do, and then you go to the internet and get to read 1,000 people judge you from their couch. Ugh. Like, if I was a pro athlete, for example, I wouldn't be able to have social media. The things we all say, you know? I hope as a caster, I feel like I'm always pretty reasonable with my takes and people understand the game more and I can represent the player opinions, but... Okay, a counterattack from Vinch. Big counterattack from Vinch, but he'll lose his Eagles and he'll only kill a couple Vills. And Vinchester has brought villagers back out to the front. His Eagles and monks continue to not be enough here. He's still one town center. I mean, this is... Dark just needs to boom this game. Or he needs to go for the kill with the siege elephants, I guess. T90, someone on YouTube said I played the worst AoE 2 game of all time once after a community game. See, people can even be so harsh on community games. It's a freaking community game, man. They said he played the worst game ever. I think it'd be a really, like, I'm not going to do this because I think it's kind of toxic. But I always am tempted. I'd love to do like a YouTube casting series where every time someone says something super judgmental about my gameplay or a player's gameplay, we then make a video casting 3 of their games. Because clearly they know better, right? I think that's what a lot of people deserve, right? I really do think that's what a lot of people deserve, but that's not good. It would be funny maybe, but I don't think it's worth the potential repercussions. It would be rough. That's not me. But Dark beasting here. Vinchester goes for the little patrol stack there though. All his units patrol stack right into the elephants. That's his only chance. And he's still losing everything on the left side right now. He still can't kill these elephants, man. Elephants was the perfect call. It was the perfect call. He made 32 of them. He ends the game with 22 on the field still. He got 94 kills this game. 59 Eagles there from Vinchester. Well played there from Dark. That was awesome. That was awesome. I mean... He got a lead in early stages with the lame. He definitely took advantage of a very good map. But, I mean, he had to earn this position with the map because of the lame, because of the drush. Feudal Age was competitive. He got some Vil kills there. And then Castle Age, he just kind of put his foot on the gas and he didn't even try and boom. Now, as for what you do about that, like any really tanky, expensive unit, you need to try and do damage to them early so they can't afford that, right? And unfortunately for Vinchester, that was not how Feudal Age went. He was behind all of Feudal Age. But as far as actual units go, Mangonels is not it. So the Siege Workshop, I think, was a misplay. You got to play Skirms and you got to play Monks. And losing your early massive Monks is really hurtful there. You need to keep those Monks alive. Now, it was even worse for Vinch because he lost his Monks and he didn't even get conversions with them. So he got 0 conversions that game. But yeah, you want to get to like at least 6 Monks because that's a terrifying number of conversions, and then have Skirms. But he went Eagles instead. But why did he go Eagles? Anyone have an understanding on why he went Eagles? Well, he went Eagles because he saw Skirms, right? He didn't expect that. He saw Skirms the whole way, chasing down Skirms. Bengalis can't go Knights. So he thought the only thing he can go against me is Skirms. I'm Mayans. I have cheap archers. And he didn't go Skirms. He went for the Elephants. And he went 4 ranges, too. So, damn. All right, game 4. We've got Dark playing as the Portuguese. His second Civ pick. So he really wants to tie this one up. I love the Portuguese here. But I also like the Italians. I think Italians are a little underrated on Arabia right now. Italians are normally seen as really good water Civ because most of their bonuses are all super timing focused and savings focused on water. But they also receive some land buffs. It's still cheaper to go up to the next stage. But the foot archers have that extra armor. So, I mean, Vinchester has gone archers every single game. Dark has gone archers every single game. We have not seen a single knight this series. So, I would expect more of the same. And then Portuguese on the other side. Good economy. Archers are very cheap because of the gold discount. So, I would not be shocked if we see the same builds. Both players go for the early barracks. Both players go for 2 militia, and then they adapt from there. It feels like a good map for it. And, oh, Vinchester. See, he's learned, guys. He's learned. He knows that Dark has a tendency to try this now. And he brings in his boar on the front right as Dark was about to steal it. And Vinchester also had his scout there to stop that, so. Honest Kodaline in chat says, can you explain the benefits of 2 lumber camps early? I always see people recommend... where's the message now? I always see people recommend that in builds, and it never feels worth it to me. Well, it depends, right? If you are a player who really struggles not taking damage within the first 3 to 4 minutes of Feudal Age, 2 lumber camps is going to feel really bad for you. Because with 2 lumber camps, the long-term benefit doesn't come into play. But if you have a map which is, let's say, really open and is never really fully wallable, and you're happy to do small walls on 2 lumber camps and play lots of army and feudal, it could be really solid because it takes a couple minutes for that efficiency to pay off, but it feels really smooth in mid-feudal. So, yeah, essentially, the 2 lumber camp investment adds efficiency that affects you more in mid-feudal. But it comes at a downside of you are open and susceptible to more damage. But right now, we really haven't seen a lot of 2 lumber camp builds from these players, but that's just because they love their little drush. And the drush build is actually best against the 2 lumber camp openings as well. I won't talk much more about it, but hopefully that explanation makes sense. Jindaru, thank you for the prime, man. Avocado, thank you for the 9 months. Another game, another early barracks here from Vinchester. Another game, another early barracks here from Dark. They've done this every single game. They have both done their homework on the other. This is how Vinchester got to 3K as well, by the way. He would go 2 militia into adapt very, 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 very frequently. But they make it look easy. They make the follow-up look easy. Fast feudal and man-at-arms and all the eco-techs. So tough to do. And if you're a little bit off with the timing, the build kind of looks ridiculously bad. So Vinchester Just passing here, sees the wood line from Dark. Dark knows that there's probably going to be militia because it's Vinchester, so he walls it up. And 3 militia again from Dark, which worked in the previous game. So he's going to try that here. The key for him would actually be to catch the militia from Vinch. If he catches the militia from Vinch, he can kill them. He doesn't see them. Will this guy see them? He won't see them. They're going off course. Vinchester's scouting again is amazing. So he knows where the wood line is. Dark will need to pre-wall his berries in. He has no loom right now. This is so fast from Vinch. Will Vinch see this? Vinch doesn't see the barracks. Vinch doesn't see the mill. Vinch doesn't go there. Vinch goes here and it's already walled. And he'll probably loop around and there won't be any immediate damage done there. And now Vinchester's pre-walled his gold. Vinchester's on the way up. Feels really nice to do this build with the Italians because of the cheaper feudal age. So it's 2 militia to potentially do some damage, and it's to poke and prod and annoy and disrupt. And then you're just fast, super fast to feudal again. Dark didn't get the scouting on the wood line, so he'll just attack the mining camp. People are asking, where is Beery? I think if you're wondering where Beery is, I think you should ask Don Cabran. Maybe Don Cabran will know. I don't have any answers for you, though. That feels like a Don Cabran question. Maybe ask him. Though I've spoken to Don Cabran, and I've asked him. And weirdly enough, he says he doesn't know Beery, so maybe we can't trust him. Walls for Dark now. Dark is adding that 4th militia. So he started with 3. And now he adds in the 4th. This will obviously be man-at-arms. Really clean builds from both. And forcing repairs like this is some damage. It isn't exciting for a viewer. No one here is like, damn, look at the inefficiencies. Whoa, right? But for a high-level player, you're like, this feels like a kill right now. Seeing that villager hammer away is everything. And then now Vinchester's like, oh man, I'm taking down the house. This is so sick. It's weird, but for me, I get incredibly satisfied by just creating inefficiencies in people's eco. The kills don't even feel like value to me. Like, oh, yeah, I'm annoying them. Let's go. All right, so Dark is up. Dark goes for man-at-arms. Vinch might need to leave his gold, but I think with 1 archer standing here, Dark can't really engage against it because of the threat of the TC fire, and Dark will need to leave. Now, if Dark needs to leave, he better leave soon because there's walls from Vinchester on the right, and Vinchester's going to wall the left right now real quick with a blacksmith and a palisade. And now Dark can't exactly escape. This has been an issue for Dark. It's been a continuous issue where Vinchester does a slightly better job, and he's trying to escape. He used the scout to distract the TC fire. He did force some garrisons. Again, as a player, you're like, oh, that's so good. He garrisoned. He idled his eco. But yeah, Dark's man-at-arm investment has not done anything thus far. Well played from Vinch. Maybe these units can escape real quick, though. If he can escape, he'll be happy. 1 range for Dark. He's going to go 2 ranges. Now, I really like this. I don't know if this will work, but I like it. He comes back with the scout. He wants the kill on the archer. He gets the kill on the archer. He gets some hits. The man-at-arms will also escape. And he can survive with all of them. It's not too bad. Yeah, I really like double range. Because in the Japanese Malians game, it was very similar. But Vinchester just out-macroed him on 1 range into Castle Age. And in that game, Vinchester could also wall much easier. So now, if you go full Feudal Age army, you might catch Vinch off guard. Vinch does not go 2 ranges. He like min-maxes on 1 range. He plays super clean. He just goes up to Castle Age. That's how he wins his games. So the key now is actually, will Vinchester scout this 2 ranges? Because if he doesn't know it's 2 range, it affects his decisions. If he knows it's 2 ranges, he would adapt. Maybe add some skirmishers with armor. Maybe add a range of his own. Nice kill there from Vinch. But man, Dark needs to kill this scout right now. Weirdly enough, Vinchester sees only 1 archer range. Will the militia see the second? Look, Dark's taking him far away from the range. Dark doesn't want him to know. That's so cool. It is that specific, right? Like, the second Vinchester sees double range, he will play skirms with armor as quickly as possible. But he thinks right now that because he was on archers slightly faster and he's Italians, he'll have the lead with the one-range battle. That will not be the case, though. And he'll find out maybe the hard way. Micro from Dark and Vinchester's been so good this series. There's more army coming in this side. Scouts down now. Dark has the numbers advantage. Dark snipes an archer. Dark snipes another archer. And Vinch, I don't know if it's clear yet, but now he's dropping range number 2. So this is more team game meta now. Like, big army numbers is more of a team game thing than 1v1s. A lot of times 1v1s don't look like this. But remember as well, it is cheaper for the Portuguese to go double range. And Dark dives in. It is harder to kill these Italian archers because of the extra pierce armor. But I think he'll be pretty happy with how this has gone so far, even though no villagers were killed. Dark has really picked it up a notch as far as his macro, too. Look at this. He'll have 16 farms. Vinch only has 10. Micros looked good. Confidence seems back. I gotta respect him continuing to try and match Vinchester. So many people completely deviate from their game plan when they're down 2 games. I guess he did go for some crazy stuff in the previous game, but even still, I like it so far. But Vinch has 2 pierce right now, so the Archer War is better for him in this moment. Dark might want to back off. This will be a race to ballistics. Italians have cheaper university upgrades. Bases are exposed for both, but way more exposed for Vinch in early castle. This gold and this woodline is painful. And we have 3 ranges now for Dark. And Dark gets the numbers again. Dark will jump on the units again. Vinchester has the armor, so Vinchester's still happy. Vinchester seems really happy. This is why I think Italians are underrated. We're seeing a lot of crossbow play. Look at how tanky the archers are. That's sick. At T90, will Dark be moving into cav archers or crossbows? I don't like cav archers here. I don't see a ton of value. They're really costly. I'd like to see 3-range crossbow ballistics. You need archers right now. Maybe archers feels a little sus. But you're walled. And you'll have the numbers and hopefully the upgrades, so it's fine. Dark didn't have any armor himself. Dark's got a really good base setup here. Really nice economy. So chat, what these players are going to do, this is so tight with the wood spend. They will go down to very low numbers of farmers. And so you as a player, you probably never turn off auto farm. But I want to point this out. Auto farm is on right now. Auto reseed for Dark. So when a farm expires now, which will start to happen a lot, he's spending wood to reseed it, okay? Vinch, actually getting horse color. He still has auto farm on, but I'm actually going to click these mills a lot. I'm going to pay attention to it because they need crossbows. They need ballistics. They need it, like, they need all of that, and they need it all the time. So usually you're skipping the auto farm here. I know Vinchester's one of those players that tends to play with it on by default and then turn it off. I personally play with it off by default and then turn it on if I'm playing Knights or Scouts. I was really expecting to bring that up and then have them both have it turned off. And now they both have it on, so I'm not really looking as smart as I was hoping to. But again, just keep an eye on if they can get the upgrades in. 17 to 17 KD. Feels like one Dark needs to win. It's super close. Going down 3-1 against Vinch would be a tough road. There's the 3rd range for Vinchester. There's the university for Vinch. Dark did pre-abandon some farms. So those don't get reseeded. He doesn't have as many farmers. But Ballistics isn't in right away. And he was in Castle Age first. Now Ballistics is in. He does have the numbers lead. And they'll find each other in the middle. But yeah, like, you don't need a lot of food income right now to produce villagers. What you really need is you need wood And you need gold for the archers. Get ready to see some ridiculous micro, guys, because Ballistics is going to come in. There's normally, you find out on the first volley. So Dark will find out right there that Ballistics is in. Now he needs to dodge. Now his Ballistics upgrade is in. Now Vinch will find out he has it with that engagement. Now they both need to micro against Ballistics. And they're both pretty damn good at it. So far, I like Dark's position, and I would really like a Siege Workshop, too. Feels like this hill is really valuable. Vinchester going for his own Siege Workshop. But Dark also likes to boom, so... Wow, he goes for a defensive Siege Workshop. And he also leaves the hill. So now Vinchester gets the hill, and that's critical. Oh, I can't believe that just happened. If he just stood on the hill, he's in such a good position. But now he's against Italian Pierce Armor, and now he is off the hill. His base could be exposed, but now he has a hill. Both players microing against the Ballistics. Vinchester's doing a pretty good job. Dark's doing a pretty good job. But yeah, leaving that hill hurts. I think Vinchester doesn't want to leave it right now. Vinchester refuses to leave that because that is the hill that protects Dark from ever moving to his base. And Dark can't advance up that hill, and he doesn't want to leave this hill, so... Age of Hills. I really like the way Vinchester micros with the runner micro. You pull a unit or two in front and then do it. Dark tends to use the full group. They're both doing full group micro now. But man, I mean, it's impressive. Siege is coming out now. So Vinchester will have a little bit more work to do. He micros against the Siege. The crossbows are there, though, too. And now there should be Siege from Vinchester coming in off screen eventually. What a crazy game. 64 population for both. Vinchester micros against the Siege. He micros really well. He's still microing really well. He takes down the crossbow next to the mangonel. Dark's crossbows really could be getting some valuable hits in this time, though, because he's worried about the mangonel. But now there's the mangonel from Vinchester. Dark didn't see it. Dark didn't see it. He didn't see it in time. Vinchester now has 2 mangonels to deal with. He's on the hill still. Hasn't lost a crossbow against the Siege yet. The Siege has done nothing. Can he take the next one? Maybe. Dark needs the repairs, and Dark needs a hero shot, and Dark doesn't get it. Vinchester gained the hill, guys. This was the critical hill. Dark patrolled underneath the hill. It's made life so much easier for him, and now Vinchester is going to be into the base. There's no mangonel in queue. It is complete and utter panic for Dark. Vinchester just slightly out-microing him. Well, out-macro him now. He's dropping the second TC, and it's just these tiny differences in micro and positioning. Here as well, Vinchester will take down these crossbows, every single one. And the game that was 50-50, that was really close, turned around in the blink of an eye. And that's just some brilliance from Vinchester, too. Just super smooth micro. I do think at the highest level, Dark just made a massive mistake. He had the hill. He could have built the Siege Workshop there instead. And then he left the hill with the crossbows. Just painful. Just really painful for Dark. He'll know it, too. He'll know it. That'll be the #1 thing he'll say if I ask him afterwards what went wrong. And now he's dead. Hate to, like, be a hype ruiner here, but now he's completely dead. In a game like this, the ranged units are just going to be all over your wood lines. And Vinch is just too good. Second TC behind, so his economy's growing. Eco upgrades are coming in. Dark will have to play full army now, obviously, to try and bring this back. But damn, that was so cool from Vinch. We're kind of used to it. Just how, you know, good players are against the Siege micro. But considering all the nerves and considering how good their economies are, I mean, this is 30 seconds of TC idle time. That's unbelievable balance there from Vinchester. Big attack round as well. Dark's desperate, so he has to run towards the Siege. Over on this side, too, Vinchester trades 1 for 1. And then here, Vinchester just landed a big shot at the exact same time. Vinchester now 12 villager lead. And as if it wasn't already enough, as if it wasn't already so impressive, Vinchester is on the way to the Imperial Age. This is crazy. It's a great decision. You know you have the eco lead already. The best way to win this game is getting even stronger range units, right? But look at the hill he's holding to. Look at how valuable this is to him and how he refuses to leave it. It changes everything. You receive less damage, and you dish out more damage. And Vinchester knows it. He's not leaving this hill, even against the siege. Okay, finally, Dark lands a big shot. Is this where Dark can start to mount the comeback? This is awkward for Vinch. But here he might actually have to leave the hill. Dark is going full military numbers, 4 archer ranges. Siege Workshop sending siege forward. This is Dark's chance. Now, guys, in the rare instance that I could play like Vinchester for the first 31 minutes of this game, okay? In the rare instance I would ever be able to do that, which is not that frequently, this is where I always throw. It's so hard. You got 90 seconds now you need to hold against someone who has to get damage. You have to be as patient as possible, and you just have to avoid taking any big engagements. That's really the key. Now, Dark isn't exactly pushing his base yet, so it gives Vinchester the time. There's no immediate pressure. It's not like he's taking wood on the front. He's abandoning his gold a little bit. Dark will have to avoid the Siege Workshop. I mean, this Imperial Age timing is something else, man. And he's got 4 ranges himself. Dark will run around this way just because the siege could pop out through the choke, and it's an awkward position to push through. And he will go over this side, and now Vinch is imp, and Vinch will get the upgrades, and Vinch will just wait. Dark should still fight here. I mean, he's got siege. He's got big siege numbers. You should definitely still fight here. You don't call it. But you've got your last chance. That's your warning. And Vinchester, oh my goodness. Fast Imperial Age into losing his crossbows. I think he's distracted over here. He also lost some crossbows over on this side. So there's lots of micro happening. There also was a mangonel next to his town center, killing some villagers there. Okay, Dark. Okay, he kills the siege there from Vinch. He's taking out the crossbows here from Vinch. He's pushing in here against the imp upgrades with the siege. Dark has more army right now. Vinchester only has 11 army. Vinchester's lost a lot of his military here. Dark only 8 villagers behind, but he is an entire age behind. And Vinchester has more crossbows in queue. And yeah, from this point, as much as I like to imply there was some hope there, Dark knows the army counts will even out pretty damn quick. The siege will get focused out. Everything here will get focused down. Vinchester will win this with the Imperial Age. This game is dead even, guys. This game is dead even, but Dark makes a critical error of leaving the hill. He had the perfect position. And I don't really have an explanation for why he left the hill. But, like, look where his army is. Like, he's here. This is an even game. Now, what I would have liked is I would have liked to just hold this position and build the siege workshop on the hill. But then he leaves it. So he's on the hill. He comes this way. And then he just patrols forward, right? He patrols forward to go back. He thinks Vinch is over here. But Vinch had positioned his army up here because he had a chance to. And Vinch regains it. And then Dark can't take the fight immediately. I mean, it's just the positioning of the hill. The weird, lumpy, awkward angle of the hill has made it tough. But yeah, I think if he holds that hill and just doesn't move, this siege workshop goes in the hill. It's a very tough game for Vinch. Vinch had an awkward base to deal with if Dark ever pushed from this position. And then Vinch's micro was just the difference. And then once Vinch won a fight, Vinch said, okay, I could boom now. And then he drops the second TC, and then he had the first perfect imp time, and then, like, you know the rest. So, but yeah, just one mistake, one tiny little mistake, and you get punished. That's the level we're at now with Vinchester. All right, so where's Dark Scout going to be? Dark Scout, we're a minute in. Dark Scout already went pretty far forward, didn't find anything, and weirdly enough, just came home right away. So I think he was hoping for a boar, hoping to find it right away. Clearly, with whatever build he wants, he knows he needs the deer. So he comes in to push a deer. Armenians for Vinch, I'd expect infantry again. Dark, definitely going archers. I don't know if he'll go for the same build we've been seeing with the 2 militia. But yeah, guys, I'm going to step away for a moment. Luckily, if you're new here, you will find that the people in my Twitch chat are the most knowledgeable about the game. Anything I ever say or do, full credit to my viewers. So, viewers, this is the time to prove that, because I will be leaving for about a minute. And, you guys go ahead and cast together and break down the complexities of the Civ matchup. We have the Armenians against the Shu, relatively open version of Arabia. Break it down for us. Okay, I'm back. So, what insights did the Twitch viewers have for YouTube here? Let's see. Look at the moves. Look at the APM. When does he get back? I want to take a nap. Fast Castle Church Rush versus Fast Castle Chariots. I not much. Okay, so apparently this is nice. This is job security, guys. That's important. If you guys actually had some good ideas, I might have been in trouble. So appreciate you guys not really, either being serious or having a clue. Militia! Nobody said they were expecting militia again. I guess I already said that. Dark is going forward with his militia into the darkness. And once he gets here, he will find that Vinchester is almost completely walled already. So Vinchester's turn to get a pretty wallable map. Good. Nice corner for him. It is weird, though. He won't have any gold here, but if he can kill this scout with the town center, that wouldn't be bad. Meanwhile, Dark didn't see the barracks until just now. But, I mean, this has happened every game, so he should expect that there could be militia from Vinch. But every game, Dark has already had the wood line walled up. And so for the first time, we have the Drush actually get to some villagers. And that is going to be an immediate villager kill for Vinchester. This is what the build can do for those that aren't prepared for it. And Dark, he just has a lot to do right now to find damage. Hasn't found the damage. I find these walls kind of weird. Like, why did Dark woodline back here when his plan was to wall like this? I think if you made the lumber camp here, this would be perfect, right? So the woodline on the back is definitely a little bit of a liability for him right now. Peter in chat says, question, why isn't Drush normally with 3 militia? Well, so the reason these players are doing it with 2 is because they can get as much value with 2 as you would with 3. And not spending as much on the 3rd means you can go to feudal age faster. So, just players are so good, they don't need another unit. And that's basically the basic reason behind it. The other thing is, in the past, we didn't see exactly how these guys are playing it. So, this is like a tiny little bit of pressure into a super fast feudal. If you're not going to have that fast feudal, you might then want the other unit. Because you can survive longer because you need more time. But here you don't really need more time because they go for the super fast feudals. Vinchester's one resource that was exposed out here was gold. And Dark finds that. And Vinch doesn't have a gold back here, so that's good for Dark. The T90, I seem to recall first seeing the 2 militia a couple years back and then people abandoned it. What changed? What changed was Vinchester didn't start terrorizing the world with it again. And now Vinchester has started to terrorize the world with it again. And he reached 3k elo. And now all the players who said it was bad are like, oh, actually, I think it's still good. That's at least 20% of it. I think the other aspect of it is the map generations we're seeing here. So part of it's the map generations too. But it really... People are saying it's cheaper. Yeah. The infantry is also slightly cheaper than it used to be, but after that change, the 2 militia strat didn't become incredibly common, right? This build is a trend that starts at the high level because someone's having a lot of success with it. Wow. Dark is gonna try the war chariots, guys. He's going Phosphorus. So he's going market. He's on the way to castle, and he's gonna send villagers over to gold, probably buy food. He wants a siege workshop. He wants war chariots. Vinchester Scout sees the market. Vinchester also sees the blacksmith. Normally, I think you might want to take Dark off that gold right now. Let's see if Dark could pull this off. 24 villager fast castle is crazy. But yeah, there were a lot of infantry changes. You're definitely right. So like arson being introduced makes man-at-arms more viable. The speed, the cost. But I don't think that the 2 militia, specifically this Vinchester build, was happening immediately after those changes. Sometimes I think when a player's doing something to maximum effect and it's working really well, everyone else will slowly adopt it. Vinch has been doing it a ton. Kind of like when Sato started the 19 population 2 militia Frush build. The little French drush build. Everyone called it the Frush. Like, no one thought it was good, and then everyone else started to kind of throw it into the equation. And now no one does that, so it's kind of interesting how that goes. Sometimes it's not necessarily related to a specific change. So, Vinchester, he better be walled. But if he walls, he's going to be walling without gold. So he is trying to immediately get to Castle Age as quickly as possible. Dark, he's got a chance here, guys. This, I've made some videos on. This is really strong. A siege workshop for Dark. And he'll just take the safe wood line now, so it's not like he still can't take wood. Now, this used to be stronger because the amount of food you get when chopping trees with the shoe used to be higher. But using the market, you could still buy food, and you still have some food income here. It's War Chariot Rush for Dark. So this unit has 2 different fire modes. I don't think Capture Age actually picks up on the different fire modes, unless they made a change to it. One of its modes, I think it's called the Barrage mode, which I think it's on now, because it Capture Age, it was saying Focus Fire, and now it's not. No, it's saying Focus Fire when it produces. Anyways, it's got 8 different projectiles. And the accuracy's bad, which actually makes it, weirdly enough, really good, because you can't dodge it. So if you try and run from it, you're still going to get hit. So it's kind of like an organ gun in that sense, where the accuracy nerf made it in some ways a weird buff. Vinch is making stables behind. He's going to hope for knights, but, I mean, the second his vills get touched here, he's just going to get deleted. And Dark still has economy. He's still adding farms. Like, this isn't like he has no economy here. The Dark will hit the golds. He needs to hit the golds. And yeah, you see how the vills are running and they're still getting hit? They won't always, but... Okay, well, he doesn't lose any vills. That's good, at least, for Vinchester. Now, it's important that Dark knows what Vinch is going to try here. And he's going for a siege workshop on the front as well to go for mangonel pressure. Oh, the timing here is so critical. If he attacks a building, it's so bad. If he hits the wood line, it's so good. Boom! But he didn't kill anything. No, he didn't kill anything. Yeah, knights are a great play for Vinch. If Dark went monks too, this could be bad. I don't know if 2 knights are enough against 3 of these things. There's also a reload time. Wait, did they change the accuracy on this unit? Why are they firing so straight? Again, their accuracy... Why are they firing straight? Does he have it on the wrong mode? Or was there a change? Look how straight they're firing. This is not what I was talking about. I think he needs to be on the other mode or something. That is not it. He has it on the wrong mode. He's got to have it on the other mode. The other mode melts those knights. I think it has to be on barrage mode and not focus fire. And that was, oof, that was bad. That was bad. That is not the engagement you want. Guys, if that's 3 on the other mode, they kill those knights, and maybe 2 survive. It's that big of a difference. Again, you just can't micro against it because of the mode. So, damn. Well, not what Dark wanted. Dark will add a monk now. Vinchester's going to get a warrior priest or 2 out. Maybe start to get some relics. Vinchester will be feeling as though his economy is superior. It's not necessarily superior because The Shu eco is still really strong. So this is adaptable. This is a game that can continue here. Oh, no. Dark doesn't see that scout. You're kidding. Vinch is crazy. Oh, my God. Is he going to notice that? Okay, I mean, the fact... luckily, Dark noticed that. And Dark kills the scout. That's a pretty big deal. Imagine if that scout sniped the monk and got away. Okay, warrior chariot hopped out, killed the knight. Villager's still alive. Just looking at the... Yeah, so this is a 4 projectile count. This is the wrong mode. It has to be the other mode, but I don't know if Dark knows that. Dark still only 400 resources behind in resources collected. Warrior Priest is just passing. Dark sees it. And... Okay, he kills the Warrior Priest. They're still really good. Like, I still think they kill knights in the normal mode, but it's just easier to micro against them. Such a weird looking unit. But I guess it's unique to the Shu, and you don't see it with any other civ. Eventually, Dark might consider bringing these monks forward. If he has the monks with the chariots, then Vinchester could have some problems, but... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, Dark patrolled into it. Oh, man. I mean, that's the right play to always have your units on patrol. But he's patrolled into the TC, which means that Vinchester gets a heads up that these units are on the way. Dark needs a conversion here. His monk needs to be ready. He's not ready. He's old. He's so old, that monk. Yeah, this mode sucks. Dark is misusing the unit. He needs to be on the other firing mode, and he doesn't know about it. And the monk is dead, and oh my god. Oh my god. I think the unit's weirdly balanced. If focus fire is that horrible compared to the other mode, what's going on with this unit? Why even play focus fire? Like, focus fire, it just misses. Dark wouldn't have known, like, Dark probably has seen this before. He probably doesn't know as much about the modes. Vinchester completes the town center. Dark's still in the game. I mean, he's gotten 3 relics. He could now play mangonels and monks. Just play that fully to maybe pressure the TC. It's just disappointing to see that he hasn't been able to switch the mode yet. Light cav out there for the monks. Pretty easy to do when the shots are missing like this. Oh, man. The light cav even get away? Type a 1 in chat if you have no clue what I'm talking about with the modes. And you're curious how big a difference there is in the firing modes. Because I'm gonna show you. I'll pull up one of my videos after this. I'll show you the other mode and how quickly it deletes units. It would significantly change the fights. Now, I've been calling for a nerf for that mode and that unit, and I always lose track. I don't think they made any balance changes, though. Vinchester just casually building a castle behind because he's getting pushed, and he still could win the game here, Dark. It could still work. He's still got good map control. He's pushing the castle now. But will focus fire mode be enough here? And will his monk get a conversion? The answer on the conversion is no. Dude, they can't hit crap. They can't hit anything, man. They can't hit anything. They're just missing everything. And again, Vinchester's just going to mop it up. But Dark probably can't believe it. Dark's like, they must have nerfed the unit because I've seen this work before. This unit is garbanzo if you're not on the other mode. Look, you can't hit it. You can't hit units. Too accurate for its own good, man. Gonkel says, why play a unit you don't know how to use? Calm down with the judgment there, sir. Calm down with the judgment. He needs some desperation. He's seen what's going on. There's balance changes all the time. He obviously it feels pretty bad for it not to work well. But yeah, it just, in his mind, I'm sure he thinks there must have been a change. So I guess I never realized that the default mode is the worst one. It must be the default one after you produce it. So that's the one he's using then. Because I've played against it a bunch. I've casted it a bunch, but I've never really made too many of them myself. Vinchester still only 2 villagers behind. Vinchester still, now he's up against pikemen here. Vinchester's still losing the town center. I mean, Dark has literally played everything perfectly except for the mode. And he's going to go imp. Here comes some knights. Yeah, it's like knights. Let's just forget the war chariots exist. Okay? Knights can't fight the siege and the pikeman comp. So if he just plays that now, Dark is imping now too, and he could go for traction traps. He could still win. Yeah, I agree. I think it's incredibly weird that the base fire mode is so bad, and then that other mode is so insanely good. It's a very weird balance, but they added a lot of different things with the DLC, and maybe to some level they didn't have as much time to really iron out certain things compared to others. And if this is never made, it's very niche. It's not on the high of the priority list. Okay, quick walls from Dark. We have a counterattack from Vinchester. It's been a weird game. It's been a unique game. Nice job from Dark, who's got 5 relics back here to wall that up. And he's going to try and play into Arbalest now. They'll also start to push the left side. Vinchester is about to get through here, so Dark had to drop another house. He will sacrifice 3 villagers. This will be the first time he loses villagers. Or sorry, I guess the second and third and fourth time he loses vills. But still, I mean, if he can get into Arbalest, could be strong, get some conversions to defend there. Vinchester still on 1 TC, about to be on 2 because he lost that other town center on the front. That's a lot of comp bowmen, though, from Vinchester. There's no modes on the comp bowmen. They're just in ignore armor mode all the time. That's what they're good at. Which means they're not particularly good against siege. They're really good against high armor units, which there's not many of out there right now for Dark, to be honest. Vinchester wants to clear the siege. Has to be careful here. He loses a lot of his knights, maybe most of his knights, in the process. I don't mind that fight for Dark. I don't mind that at all. I think it's fine. It's quite a few knights from Vinchester he just lost. Now, Dark is an imp. He's just now getting bodkin. Struggling to spend his resources, but he is still going to be on imp units here soon. But the timings are kind of brutal because he doesn't have ballistics yet. He doesn't have chemistry on the way yet. He's just now making a traction trap. Timing's just a little bit off here from Dark. So much food. Holy. And now Vinch is imping. Feels like Vinch is almost committed to continuing to play with his composite bowman. His eco, he could play like skirm or something. It's been such a weird game here. Very unique. But those imp resources for Dark are going to disappear pretty quickly. Like the additional resources. Someone joked he could go imp again. You can spend it on thumb ring, bracer, chemistries, making traction traps now too. I'm personally not a fan of a second TC in Dark's position until you get all the ranged upgrades. Once you max out on the ranged upgrades, then you can spend your food on the second TC, but you don't reach imp at this time if you go second TC in this game. And traction traps are already going to be out to pressure Vinchester's castle. What will Vinchester make to deal with that? Yeah, as people have told me, if your micro is good enough, you don't ever need to get armor. So I don't even know if Dark needs to prioritize armor right now when he has the range advantage. Obviously, later on, maybe snag it. But he just needs to focus all of his attention with the traction traps on this castle. And keep dropping ranges and keep making crossbowmen. He is fully open at home. Maybe Vinchester could consider a counterattack. But Dark has a lot of vision down here if Vinch ever comes this way. And that's also where a lot of his eco is positioned. None of that eco is positioned exposed in the north, where maybe Vinchester might go. What's the army choice here for Vinchester? It's going to be ranged units, and it's going to be skirmishers. Which, of course, makes sense against the Arbalest. And Arbalest upgrade will be completed for Dark. Isn't it crazy, though? He already has this much pressure on the castle, and he didn't even have chemistry completed, and he doesn't have a castle. This is the beauty of traction trips. You can just make them an imp, and it's so easy to apply pressure on these types of plays compared to other civs. Redemption's in, though. Redemption is in, and I don't think Dark is expecting it. But he does kill the monks. Traction Trebs outrange the monks. Okay, War Chariot gets converted. That's not a big deal. As we've established, I think Dark probably hates that unit now. Dark will never make another War Chariot until he finds out about the mode switch. Like, monks are an option to try against these traction trebs because you can convert them from range. But unlike bombard cannons, the traction trebs actually outrange the monks too. So as long as the player in Dark's position is paying attention, he shouldn't lose any to conversions. I'd love to see a counterattack from Vinch. I want to see those knights. Okay, so here's some comp bowman with just anything. Just splitting up and going to Dark's eco. He's wide open. And this distracts Dark. Now Vinchester might try conversions because Dark is reacting here. So Dark is reacting here. And the monk dies. Okay. Quite a few skirmishers from Vinchester. Quite the villager lead, too. Dark is still distracted. He'll clear this up. But now the skirms and now the knights are engaging. Vinchester wants to get those skirms onto the Arbalest. He has to be careful against the traction trebs. He lost his whole group there, almost. Fight was actually not horrible for Dark, all things considered. Vinchester will take this fight, though, knowing he has the better economy and that he can survive this. How many traction trebs can he actually kill, though? He took one down. He's going to take two. Still, there's about to be 4 of them, and he lost most of his army there. There's still a really big army for Dark. Pikeman actually came in kind of clutch there in some ways. But Pikeman's the last priority unit. It's all about your arbs and all about your traction trebs. Vinchester's in just send bodies. Let the bodies hit the floor mode right now. He's just sending units in, letting them die because he thinks he has the better economy. And for the second time in this series, Vinch is going to consider a big champion switch. Let's hope he can get his unique tech. Look at all the resources for Vinch. He wants the 100 HP champions for the Armenians. Normally, champion isn't very good against Arbalest, but again, when you've got the eco lead, maybe it's fine. There's Feriders. But yeah, Vinchester, be careful, man. You can see just how strong traction trebs are. You can't get in close to this army right now. Not easily. Dark will be back to pressuring the castle, but Feriders completes. So yeah, Feriders adds the additional HP onto the infantry for Vinch. Vinch still actually needs to get to the infantry. That was a weird capture age lag, sorry. Vinch can't get close. They apparently nerfed traction trebs versus units. It still seems very strong to me. I still think Dark's composition is better right now. I mean, until champions come out. Champions should honestly just raid. Send champions into Dark's eco and just keep trying to repair your castle here. Vinchester will eventually open the floodgates once his techs are completed. And the monks are going for conversions again. And Dark... Remember, guys, back when traction trebs were made, they added conversion resistance because people thought they sucked. So it does take a while to convert them. Finally, a conversion happens. But that's only one, and Dark's still holding the middle, and Dark is still slaughtering everything. But this is before Yo makes champs as well. Or not Yo. Someone in chat said Yo. Sorry. I meant to say Vinchester. Yo is not here. 40 arbs for Dark. The traction trebs are insanely difficult to deal with. They're good against military. They're good against units. They're clearly great against units. 33 kills right now. Unfortunately, like, if there's any other Civ, Vinchester could have gone for Cavalier maybe, but he doesn't have that. He can't make bombard cannons with Armenians either. Oh, God. Is that where you want to be with those skirms? Oh, God. Yikes, Vinchester. He's doing everything he can to just micro a couple Arbalests down. Okay, but this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets interesting because right now, Dark is not distracted at all. He's just focused on the push. And now 100 HP champs are going to start lurking around his eco. He could make big mistakes here. He could lose traction trebs to conversions. This is a beautiful setup from Vinch. Just a little raid. It's a shame he's not here. But he'll get there eventually. And then he's going to have a big wave of champs to go in here too. Actually, could be a good time for a siege tower from Vinchester to escort some of his champions in. Yeah, Vinch is going for the raid on the backside. There he is. He'll definitely get kills there. He might not get a kill there. It's just one. But he's rushing out with the champions. Can he kill these freaking traction trebs? I hate these things right now. I hate them for Vinchester. They're so annoying. He takes one. He takes two. I mean, he takes two, but he's raiding in the back. And Dark does not have eco protected back there with town centers, and he's now 60 villagers behind Vinchester, and Vinchester has such a good economy. He seemingly can flood champions and skirms forever. So just because Dark's military has to be in one spot, Vinch can just split up. And I just don't know if Dark has enough here. Again, I can't wait to show you the barrage mode and just the difference of the damage output it does. If Dark would have had that, I think the whole early game is different. If Dark would have had the hill in the previous game, maybe that game is different. There have been some tiny little things here. But, I mean, Vinchester, the favorite coming into this, looking like he could win the series right here. But he didn't come back to raid here. Like, that's what I was expecting him to have all of his champions on that gold. Traction Trebs have 40 kills, and he lost some of them, so it's not even tracking all of it. Here he goes again. Champion Flood. Arbs will have to hit and run. Traction Trebs need to roll away. Champions are pretty tanky. There's some skirms in there, too. The Arb mass is at 40, but now it's dropping. The champions are just too good. The champions are too good. Dark can't do this. He tried to hold to the hill. The hill was always going to be key, but I think Vinchester has just played so patient here today. He's always had the better economy, it feels like. And except for that one mishap, that one all-in with the elephants from Dark, Vinchester's just been a class above. And he calls the GG. Dark taps out. Again, the unit, the War Chariot, should have done more for him. But even if, like, let's say he wins this game, I think Vinchester just seems to be a slight step above. Good performance from Dark. He had 2 sweeps in the earlier stages. I'm sure he'll be happy with getting into the round of 16, but Vinchester, he moves on to one of the quarterfinals. Well played to Vinchester there. And yeah, he was finally making siege towers. Could have actually used the champions to roll in there with the siege towers, but wasn't really needed here. So yeah, let me just quickly show you the stats from this game. I'll pull up one of my videos. I don't know if anyone has one available. I'll just search for it real quick. But I want to show you the fire mode and explain what I'm talking about. Look at the economy here. But yeah, he had it on the wrong mode. There's 2 firing modes, and he had it on the default. And the default firing mode... You know what? I'm not going to say what I think of the default firing mode. But if you had one word to describe it, why don't you tell me what you think about the default firing mode after watching that one? Yeah, there we go. You guys could just read. All right, so let me show you. Let me just pull up a couple examples of these fights real quick. Let's see. So I think this is the game that he's up against Knights. Sorry, it's been a minute. Yeah, okay. Here, this is just perfect. So if he has it on the different mode, look at the arrows, okay? Watch the projectiles here. You see how they're all like mismatched and all random? You're going to see a knight run in here in a second. And remember how hard it was for him to kill a knight in the previous game? Watch. See all the hits? If that's on the other mode, he doesn't hit a damn thing. But with the mode switch, it's like way easier to melt things. And then you have sorry, I don't want to scroll through the whole video, but I mean there's other engagements where knights are there or villagers are there. And yeah, the knights just don't really stand a chance. Here he just has so much more regular army. Let's see if I can find another example. So yeah, long story short, yeah, I mean the game's over there. I don't know if I know the exact moment here. Okay, there's another video from Dr. Loops. Here we go. Let's look at this. I'll trust Dr. Loops. All right, so this is against scouts. This isn't against knights, okay? And you do have a lot more of them. But look at how these are fully upgraded scouts, and look at that wall, that like big clump of bodies, dude. Like they absolutely melt units. Knights are tankier, so maybe not a fair comparison. But yeah, he wasn't on this mode at all. To my knowledge, I don't think he was on the mode. Maybe he was there. There I am complaining about pathing. But just crazy damage. So that's what he saw. Like there's videos on this. He saw this stuff. He thought the unit was really good. I just don't think he was on the right mode. The focus fire was too accurate. And it was firing straight, and it was missing a lot of the shots it wouldn't have missed. I still think the numbers he fought, when he fought, all that stuff was fine. He just didn't have the mode. So that's my feeling on it. But yeah, well played to Vinchester.